Welcome everyone to the Wednesday Night Warriors, where we cover AEW Dynamite, WWE, NXT. We'll be going over the March 10th, 2021 editions of both shows. On today's Wednesday Night Warriors, we stand and deliver not one, not two, but three championship matches on NXT. We ease traveling restrictions. We ask what took you so long. We do damage control for the sparkler bomb heard around the world. And we have a warrior council. See what I did there? Not a war council, a warrior council. We start with introductions. I am the host of the Romeo Report. I just report the news. The co-host of True Rewind. The bastard rack. Romeo Anthony Colon. And I am joined, as always, by my co-host. The host of Joints and Jabronis. The co-host of Blunt Impact. My Wednesday Night Warrior, Chris G.
Oh yeah, Penta El Cero Dinero in the flesh, and I am here with my co-host, Mary Jane.
And joining us for our 40th episode, his battery is dying. It's the weekend, so he may have a rant in him. He is the co-host of the All Elite Wrecap right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Marcus Cash, how you doing, good brother?
The other Caribbean cornet? I'm doing all right.
Friendly reminder before we get into both shows, please help us out. Give us a thumbs up. Share this video. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. And if you're new here, subscribe to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. We are post AEW Revolution, where Romeo's can't miss picks went 7-2 for the Knights, and Chris's highly questionable picks went 5-4. We'll start with AEW Dynamite. Phoenix defeats Matt Jackson in 14 minutes 35 seconds. Phoenix and Pac have a title shot coming up from winning on Sunday, and this was the first strike in this feud. I thought it was an enjoyable match. Maybe a bit too much for the first chapter of the feud. You know, might want to save Destroyers on the outside for maybe a little later chapter in the feud. That's just me. But it's Matt Jackson. It's Matt Jackson. What do you expect? Right, Marcus?
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment, which is why I disagree with it being too much for the first match. I'm here for Rey Fenix needing to up the ante for every match he has going forward. I'm here for B, Matt Jackson taking every potentially devastating bit of offense he could take. So this was wonderful to me. And despite the fact that it's my least favorite Buck and my favorite luchador, this was a serviceable match.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I think it would have been better to see, of course, Nick in there instead of Matt. But Matt, I mean, kind of showed out. So we can't go wrong with that. I'm looking forward to, if we get it, which I think we will, Nick Jackson versus Pac.
Eddie Kingston explanation for saving Moxley at the end of the exploding barbed wire deathmatch and selling it. I thought this was the perfect guy to cut a promo on a botch finish. Remember, this is the guy that does, promo classes for AEW. You tell him anything, shit on the end of a stick, and he'll make a promo out of it. But as good as this explanation was, it really doesn't fix the finish or make it any less disappointing. To me, it's like, have you ever taken a shit in the toilet and then you stood up and you looked at it and you were like, oh, that's pretty impressive. That's what it felt like to me. Like you stand there, you look at your shit. It's a big pile of shit. It's very nicely constructed. You're like, wow, that came out of me. But it's still a pile of shit. No matter what, it's still a piece of shit. It's a turd, no matter how impressive it looks. And that's what this was for me. That's what this was. For me.
This is shit in the toilet, but then Eddie Kingston came with a little air freshener and spruced it up a little bit, so it was a little bit more enjoyable. Because I'm with you, I mean, we're not going to forget about the finish. It is what it is, but at the same time, I do appreciate Eddie Kingston bringing in some realism and trying to cover the fact and go into the PTSD and talk about getting locked up and going to Sing Sing. Y'all don't know about Sing Sing. We know people who did time in Sing Sing for real. But no, just good shit by Eddie. Even though it is covering up shit, just he's so New York, man. It's so great to see.
Yeah, so as someone who had not only zero expectations, but zero desires to actually see the exploding barbed wire death match whatsoever for how awful I knew it was going to be, I'm okay with A, how bad that finish was, and B, happier for the explanation Eddie Kingston gave for it. Um, my apologies to everyone listening for the examples being used already, but since we're using fecal matter as references, this was eating something awful, and then you're sick to your stomach, and then you go to relieve yourself, and then after one good fell swoop, it's finished, and it's not something that's going to ruin your whole day. That's what Eddie Kingston was. It was the final flush, and we're done with this now, and we can move on. We all feel better about ourselves. I loved it. I'm intrigued by the Moxley pairing. I appreciate that there was a reference to Butcher and Blade, even though they're doing something else completely different now, separately. But at least there's a story told, explanations given for everything involved.
Cody Rhodes, realizing he's going to squash Seth Gargis and not need to use his weightlifting belt as a weapon, he hands it off to a fan in the crowd. Very touching, very nice. And the figure four wins it in 40 seconds. Afterwards, promo time with Tony. Mic problems. Penta El Cero talks trash to him through the Spanish announce guy. Penta says Cody won't be able to pick up his little baby girl, which is indeed fighting words and leads to a fight. Setting up a match next week on AEW Dynamite St. Patrick's Day Slam. Who gets the W in that match? I'm going to say Cody wins, even though he shouldn't, with the shoulder injury they're selling. I say he takes advantage of Penta's weakness, which is, of course, taunting 35 times every match. Marcus, what do you think about this little segment and next week?
Okay, so this is one of AEW's three best talking segments of the night. One of their better talking segments of the 3 months we're going to call the year. One of the five best of the week altogether. I loved that promo. I don't know who this Alex guy is. I don't care, but the the presence he gave off in translating, it gave me big time Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez vibes, and I loved it. I was here for that. In regards to the match, I think Penta Zero, as I'm going to call him because the L Mieta is not necessary. I think Penta Zero is going to win that match, at least initially. He'll lose a feud. But he's going to win that match, I think, because A, you have to establish a new singles turn for Penta, because clearly he's not in the tag team right now. That's the other two. You made him a heel, kind of individually without the other two. But also, it needs to gain steam, right? And he's not a big-time monster that gets all the hype and then loses the big match. Typically, with everybody else, it's not a monster that should be getting the wins. Everybody else seems to get those wins. So I have faith in him getting the initial win, if for nothing else, because of exactly what you said, except for Cody. Cody doesn't know how to put people away. This is the second time I've ever seen Cody squash somebody in 2 years of AEW, and he's not doing it to Penta because he likes to showboat and horse around as well, just as much as anybody else.
I think Penta's going to take it. Theo Penta. I mean, I like where they're going. If you watch BTE, Alex Abrahantes is a low-key funny motherfucker. So him coming out and just like not really translating, but translating. Alex, ayúdame. Just good shit. I liked it. I like the direction that they're going with Penta, man, because I'm still a fan of his, regardless if he lost a step or two. But I'm here for it. Hopefully him and Cody put on a low-key banger.
Chuck wants one more match with Miro and Kip. Chuck says he will be the butler forever if they lose. Chuck, I feel, has no business making match stipulations after getting destroyed by Miro on Sunday, as the luster of Orange Cassidy continues to fade away.
Yeah, I mean, I said this, I don't know how many months ago, right? You got to give the people what they want, and that's a break from Orange Cassidy. And they kind of did for a couple weeks, and we're right back there. And it's not his fault. Like, the character doesn't evolve, but the character can't evolve, right? Like, there's nothing you can add to him putting hands in his pockets except, and we already missed the opportunity. When Florida was cold, you could have had him wrestle in a kangaroo hoodie, and he could have put his hands in his pouch. That's really the only other place you could have gone with the character. Like, there's nothing else to him. And for me, it takes me out of an Orange Cassidy match when he tries to be serious and he has a Superman punch, because that doesn't fit with anything else about the gimmick whatsoever. It has a cool name, and that's about it. None of that fits. You're a jokey wrestler. I appreciate you for that. I don't take you serious. Chuck Taylor, I don't take serious. You're a pair of sneakers. Miro's a monster. He should be squashing everybody. What I think comes of this is, and it plays back to the Revolution match with Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian. I think at some point Miro gets frustrated, kicks Kip Sabian in the face, leaves him behind, breaks up that tag team. Chuck and Orange get the win, technically, because Kip just got knocked out. But now we have a Kip Sabian-Miro feud.
Guys, I'm more interested in the Miro-Jim Cornette feud on Twitter than I am this feud on Dynamite. What about you, Chris?
That is an interesting feud. But, Chuck, the fucking balls on this guy, you just got beat up, and now you're trying to make stipulations and demand matches. I just want this to be over already, to be honest, man. It doesn't feel the same without Trent. So I hope Miro destroys him again. I like Chuck, but I like Miro more. I mean, and the Miro and Kip thing is going to happen, but I don't know when it's going to happen.
This thing with Trent was still bad, even then with Trent. I think the arcade stipulation is them trying to gear up for their video game, and I think that's going to be like an arena type. So like their parking lot brawl, except it's arcades.
Sting, fresh off his cinematic victory, puts over how great Darby is, and Lance Archer interrupts to announce that he's heel again. I'm paraphrasing. And then Sting leaves sort of embarrassed.
We're going to get Sting versus Archer, but why? I don't...
Chris, I felt like they went a little backwards character-wise with Archer here. Not that going against Sting is backwards, for your career, but character-wise, it's like, why are you a dick all of a sudden now?
Well, he's always been a dick. I mean, when you see him,
but the way they were presenting him before was a bit different than this.
Yeah, no, it's definitely totally different. I mean, it feels like now he's back like an actual heel more than a tweener or a semi-baby face even, But I don't know if this is necessarily going to be something with Sting. We'll see. Maybe it's just something that he does every week for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Like, yo, you guys aren't giving me fucking time. So he's going to come out and just eventually beat somebody up. Maybe it's going to be Sting. Maybe not. We'll see.
Matthew Jackson, please. Please.
Sting, you have my permission to take a break. You don't have to be on every week. You could take a break now. You got your pay-per-view cinematic win. Take a break.
Yeah, it's not Showtime anymore. Go away. It's literally had nothing to say. It's like, oh, we gotta win, and then here comes Archer. Like, I know you gotta win. I saw the highlight package.
All Ego Ethan Page, singles debut versus Lee Johnson. Apparently there were huge audio issues during this match. Became NBA Dynamite with NBA commentary, NBA sounds. Page wins with Ego's edge. Post-match attack on Lee is stopped by Dustin Rhodes. QT Marshall and the crowd walks off.
I don't know anything about All Ego Ethan Page or Karate Man except that he also has a character named Karate Man. But seeing All Ego Ethan Page in AEW, there's nothing that screams more mid-card to me than Ethan Page. Okay? And I think TNT knew it because they're like, no, the only excitement we're going to get is with some basketball noise. Because this guy is bland and vanilla. Like, the name is pretty bad. The Eagle's Edge, I cringed through all of it. I can't even tell you who his opponent was. This was just all, rough to me.
I don't think this is the best way to introduce him, right? In a match against... Who the fuck did he have a match against?
Lee Johnson. He's in the Nightmare Family.
Who actually is not that bad, but I don't know. I don't think that's not the way. I would bring him in let him talk shit. Kind of how like NXT is bringing LA Knight, because all ego can talk shit. He's kind of like Eli Drake, maybe a tad bit more entertaining in the ring. Just give him some time. I think he'll grow on you guys.
Yeah, I will admit the chance of defense during the match was fantastic.
Omega, Kenny Omega, Don Callis, good bros in the ring, interrupting Tony Schiavone, who was trying to introduce Christian Cage. Callis rambles, not one of his better promos. Omega then talks shit. Eddie Kingston comes down. Callis taunts him. They gives him 10 seconds to leave. They mock the countdown at Revolution. Callis and Omega, they 69 each other. Eddie knocks out Kenny. Moxley with the save. Another countdown. This one is for Christian Cage. Omega offers a handshake, and Callis saves Omega from the Unprettier. So it looks like this will be perhaps the first feud for Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega. I did not like Moxley getting physical 3 days after he lost an exploding barbed wire death match. Come on, man. And I did the whole 69 thing. Come on, Jesus. This is your world champion. Your world's champion, Chris. You gonna defend this?
69 me, Don. 69 me, Don. Listen, you're talking about it. I'm talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. Funny shit. I don't care. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's cool. You're still talking about it. I thought it was hilarious.
I'm talking about it because it's my job.
Well, he gave you something to talk about.
I liked it as far as Don Callis also explaining their version of the explosion that didn't happen. It fell off a cliff after that for me. Omega and Moxley both don't need to be there 3 days after the exploding death match. Like they both could have took a week off. Send Callis out there by himself. He can handle it. Send him with the Good Brothers. That's fine, right? The numerical comment, that's fine with anybody else. I think if it's more with the Good Brothers, I feel like that brings Kenny Omega down a little bit, since he is the world champion. If he wasn't, then sure, he could be Shawn Michaels, but he's the guy with the belt right now. But that's nitpicking. I don't think it's a deal breaker either. I'm not excited for Christian Cage, and I know I'm a big anti-Christian Cage guy. I understand that. He's 47 years old would be my main argument. They have a ranking system. How do you have a guy who's literally unranked because he's had 0 matches? So yeah, he has 0 losses, but he has 0 wins. He's ranked nothing. And now he's probably going to get a title match. Can we throw the ranking systems out? If you throw the ranking systems out, I'll give you Christian Cage. I'll give you Christian Cage winning the belt. Throw the ranking system out. They don't mean anything. And even when they do mean something, they still don't make sense.
Well, let's see if Christian maybe beats a couple of guys in that ranking system before they even make a match. We'll see.
Shouldn't he qualify for those qualifying matches? Like, shouldn't he have to beat a bunch of people on Dark, like Avalon and Cutler and Luther, before he even gets to guy number 5?
He's a future Hall of Famer. He's got
Did
that.
fucking
Not
Sting
here.
come in
Attached to
to
him.
fight Luther? Sting didn't come in to fight fucking Luther and Brandon Cutler.
That's true.
You know? And Sting is more of a legend than Christian, don't get me wrong. But Christian is a legend in his own right.
But Sting's not going after the AEW World title right now. He's just going after Kaz, right? And helping out the mid-card guy that kind of looks like him. Christian is over here touching titles. No, you gotta work your way up.
To be fair, the whole segment was originally supposed to be his segment interview, and they sort of stepped in. So I guess it's you can give him a pass there, right?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't want you hinting at this. I want to see Christian versus Serpentico before I see Christian versus champion Kenny Omega. Possibly double champion Kenny Omega. No.
6-woman tag. Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, and Maki Ito versus Hikaru Shida, Ryu Mizunami, and Thunder Rosa. Maki sings and dances during her entrance as everyone else brawls. It was funny at first for me. until I saw 52-year-old Vicky Guerrero choking out the 32-year-old women's champion. Then, Shida goes to Maki Ito on the stage and has to sell some awful microphone shots to the head. In the words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, you gotta lay that shit in, motherfucker. Thunder Rosa murders Maki at the end for the win in 8:34. And then Britt Baker lockjaw on Thunder Rosa. And Vicky and Rebel, or Viva, we'll call her Rebel, joins in on the attack.
I liked the match. It was short but fun. And yo, you can say what you want about Maki. She's not aggressive, where she looks like she won't fucking hurt you if she hits you at full strength in the chest, you know what I mean? But she's entertaining as shit, man. Like you like everybody wants to nitpick, oh, she didn't fucking do terrible mic shots or what. I don't care about that. She's entertaining. She's gonna be entertained.
This is all
that's why you that's why you have Thunder Rosa.
And not all average wrestling. Elite. Oh,
God damn
not
it.
AEW.
You're killing me. They can't all be elite, pal. Sweet Christ.
Why'd you just morph into Vince McMahon?
I don't know, because you're giving me Vince vibes. That's why. It fucking came into my soul.
This was all elite sports entertainment at its best. Her not breaking character and singing and continuing to sing the whole way was, I think, one of the best segments I've seen in AEW ever. Don't just go like this. You brought up.
Oh, it was worse than that. It was worse than that.
Yeah, it was. I can't go that slow. But you bring up Vicky and Shida. First off, can we talk about Rebel and Shida sword fighting with a kendo stick and a crutch before that, which was amazing. But then Vicky goes.
Not if Shida's gonna get choked out by Vicky Guerrero.
Right? No, but she didn't though, because Vicky let go with her other hand, and Shida's still holding it with both of her hands for dear life, choking herself at this point because Vicky's lost the handle of the crutch. Like, she's not even getting choked out.
Your woman's champion. Io Shirai would never.
Oof. Let's not get into that either. Why are we going up to the ramp and interrupting a concert? So that's not cool. And B, trying to attack another one of your opponents. She's could not be bothered with you trying to pick up a win over here. And you need all the wins you can get because the pay-per-view's over. It's NWA Championship time again until the next pay-per-view when they remember you exist.
Matt Hardy needs money. So he hires Butcher, Blade, and the Bunny to the Matt Hardy Empire, vows to destroy the Dark Order with them. I never liked Eddie Kingston with Butcher and the Blade and the Bunny in the first place. What is Bunny there for? Like, shouldn't she be doing the talking? Like, can she not manage them on her own? Like, what is her job? And why wasn't it TH2? Not that I wanted it to be, but who were already working with Matt Hardy to begin with.
Yeah, I was expecting TH2 also. I'm guessing Angelico's not around for any particular C-word reason, maybe, because he hasn't exactly been on TV. It's been Jack Evans doing the run-ins. So I don't know if I need to read into that, and that's why the two of them couldn't be involved. I like it gives Butcher and Blade something to do because Eddie Kingston's busy. I would have liked for, I don't know how long of a program, but I would have liked for Eddie Kingston to try to steal the Bunny away. I think that would have made a much better version of that storyline we were stuck with QT Marshall.
I'd like to steal Bunny away myself. Scorpio Sky not carrying around his Sonic ring. I thought he was going to carry that shit everywhere. As the face of the Revolution. Versus Darby Allin, TNT Championship. Darby wins with an inside cradle in 12:48. Darby tries to show respect afterwards, but Scorpio loses his temper and turns heel with a heel hook. Very clever. Definitely more to come from this feud. Marcus, what do you think?
Is there a bigger indictment on the people who already don't watch Dark to still not watch Dark than the guy who never qualified for this ladder match? They just gave it to him because he wrestled twice in 2 months on their B show, because he's not there every week, by the way. He just ended up on the ladder match because I guess he was first in line somehow because he's not doing anything else backstage. And then he wins this ladder match, and then he loses his title opportunity. So this push that he was getting, he loses it immediately. And he turns heel because he should be frustrated. You stink, sir. Your 37-year-old self stinks. I was a big proponent for pushing Scorpio Sky a year ago. All of that is out the window. He has lost all favor with me because you're either going to be awesome on Dark and end up on Dynamite and getting your push, or you're going to be terrible nowhere to be seen. But you can't be nowhere to be seen and then show up randomly getting title matches that you're still going to lose.
Chris, I'll give it a chance, but I don't know how I feel about this Scorpio Sky heel turn. It just seems so random and out of nowhere. It's like they didn't give us a reason to think it was coming or building up or anything like that.
No, I mean, he was doing commentary before the ladder match, and he was pretty heelish on the commentary. And then
Yeah,
the
but
last
why? It came out of nowhere. Like, why? There's
It
no
did.
like, incentive.
It did, but I mean, fuck it. I mean, how many times people do it all the time? They just turn out of nowhere. But like, at least his was a weak build because it happened too at Revolution. The closing moments with him and Cody, you know, him talking shit, and then Cody falls off and he grabs the brass ring or whatever. So it's like now it's like really established that he's a heel, and he gets heat because everybody likes Darby. So I can see the direction, get a little feud going, get a little steam behind him. I'm not a fan of Scorpio Sky like that, but I mean, I'll give him a chance. Why not?
It's time for the Inner Circle War Council. Jericho teases a new member. MJF teases letting someone go. Sammy G returns chewing gum with his mouth open. Now, usually you can't trust someone who does that, but Sammy Guevara has some video footage that you can trust. It's MJF planning to kick Jericho out of the Inner Circle with Santana, Ortiz, and Hager. Back in ring, they all turn on MJF, corner him. Jericho fires MJF. MJF fake cries and says he's built his own Inner Circle. The lights go out. Wardlow, FTR, Tully Blanchard, and some other guy. They're all in the ring, behind the Inner Circle.
Wow.
Dax breaks a bottle over Hager's head, taking him out, making it much more reasonable that this group, with Shawn Spears, can easily take out the Inner Circle at full strength. MJF sits on the top turnbuckle as his group destroys the Inner Circle with a steel chair, handcuffs. Wardlow looks the best here. MJF hits Jericho with dynamite diamonds, Jericho blades, blood and guts. There's an awesome camera shot of Jericho crawling to his bat. MJF steps on it like the villain he is, beats him up with it. They take Jericho to the top of the stage where Wardlow powerbombs him off of it, onto a table and some inflatable bouncy house below. The new faction stands tall. Your thoughts on Inner Circle turning babyface? I think they were babyface already, just from all these nerds singing Judas every week, but now they're even more so. And a small spoiler alert, it seems like this stable is going to be called Pinnacle, which I fucking hate. But it's better than anything Horseman related, which I feared.
I want a Horseman name. I
Oh.
don't. Okay. First off, I'm not going with Pinnacle because they haven't said it on their television. So until I hear it, when I watch it, and I'm not reading spoilers, so I don't know if it actually happened already, I'm not going with Pinnacle until I see it on TNT. But I wanted a Horseman name, mostly because I've been arguing with a bunch of people on Twitter about why it fits or doesn't fit, because it has Wardlow and Tully, and like they don't count.
You can't have Horseman without a flair. It is a unwritten rule, but I just wrote it down right now. Where's my pen?
But
I'll write it down right now.
But you can have Horseman with a flair for dramatics, and that is not Jacob Freeman, MJF.
By the way, MJF said in an interview some time ago, I don't have the direct quote or anything like that, but something along the lines of he didn't want it to be another Horseman. He wanted it to be something different. So you gotta let it go.
You're trying to make me not like MJF. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it.
That's MJF being respectful. What a strange concept, I know, but yeah.
Yeah, that's not his gimmick though. I'm excited for the feud. I think this is one of those rare moments where everybody comes out ahead and for the better of this. And we're counting 10 people. They can only improve on this. So I'm here for that. I do feel like it's a little rushed though. Like I kind of wanted to see the storyline, even if it was fake and staged, whatever. Jericho goes away for a couple of weeks. MJF thinks he's in control of the inner circle or whatever. I wanted that to lead to maybe Pride and Powerful getting a title shot or something, whether or not they fail. But
I agree there. They could have milked
them,
this out a little bit more.
right? At least develop. I don't feel Inner Circle developed anything from this except for really you knew that he knew that you knew that he knew that you knew that this was all one big long con. And then also, what's the end game here? You were gonna have a 9-man stable that you were gonna have these guys turn on Jericho and have you and these 4 and then the other 4 guys also. What's the plan here? There's no stable that big. You should have milked this. There should have been he takes over Jericho. Jericho disappears for a week or 2, and then they're questioning his leadership. And he's like, you know what? Things weren't coming out this bad for us when Jericho was here, or something along those lines. And then he starts feeling the heat, and then he gets them together. Or, they kick Jericho out, and then he has them all beat down or something. But it's just the execution of him being in the corner, scared for his life, and then help arrives out of the dark like Sting. It felt weird, but I'm excited. Don't let my complaining confuse you. I'm excited. I think this is going to be great for everybody.
We didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. We kind of wondered, like, oh shit, like Tully got FTR, he kind of got Shawn Spears, maybe he's gonna have a group, and then we seen JJ Dillon and fucking whoever else. So who's gonna be that guy? And nobody really. I didn't think it was gonna be MJF. So I agree. We could have extended it. We could have did a lot more. But I'm not really mad with them pulling the trigger and having a totally different stable that I think Pinnacle. I like it. Give it a chance. It'll grow.
I know MJF, FTR, Tully. I know they love Shawn Spears personally. That's cool. But he doesn't fit. One of these things is not like the others. I've told Chris this story before. I don't know if Marcus heard it. I went to an autograph signing once. It was Charlotte Flair and Ty Dillinger. We took a picture together. I cropped his ass right out of the picture. The picture was beautiful. And that won't be the last time I'll crop Shawn Spears out of a picture. I'll show the viewers watching now at home a picture of what AEW presented us with the 6 members of the new group. The boys can't see it as we record now, but I trust they'll use their imagination on this. Look at this new and improved picture on the screen with just 5 of the members. Shawn Spears cropped out. How much better does this stable look? How much more excited are you for the stable? Chef's kiss. Mwah! It's fucking beautiful, the 5 of them. So hopefully one day we get to an understanding and improve on this that, you don't need Shawn Spears. Not all stables end the way they start. There is hope.
It fits. If anything doesn't fit, MJF fits less with that group than Shawn Spears does, to be honest. Okay? MJF is just the one that takes him over the hump. But they fit together. MJF can go for his world title. FTR can go for, still, rightfully, their tag team titles. Okay? Shawn Spears is the guy for the mid-card feud.
No. You just skipped Wardlow.
He's not. Okay, that's.
Oh, come on!
No.
Wardlow's way better than Shawn Spears.
That is, but it's a disservice to Wardlow. At this point, you don't start putting Wardlow in the TNT title picture. You don't bring Wardlow down to the TNT title picture. You have him there as Batista, and he helps MJF get his title, and then he's the person MJF loses it to, if anything. Or at least the reason MJF loses it. You don't bring Wardlow down to the mid-card. Say what you want about Cody being TNT champion when he was, but it's a mid-card title. Present it however you want to. It's a mid-card title. That is the purpose of Shawn Spears, to eat the pinfalls in the multi-man matches, number one, because if you take Shawn Spears out, who are you going to have take those losses? Wardlow? MJF?
Tony Blanchard. Match of the night, Phoenix, Matt Jackson.
Yeah, I think that's fairly easy to say, right?
MVP, I'm going to go Eddie Kingston, looking like a sympathetic babyface with the segment with Omega and Gallus, dumping the Butcher and the Blade and trading that in for Jon Moxley is an upgrade like very few I've seen before.
Yeah, I mean, that's an NBA trade, right? He took Butcher, Blade, Bunny, a couple second-round picks, and he traded in for former world champion Jon Moxley. Like, that's a superstar trade. Kingston's on the come up. Kingston looks like a babyface. Who expected to say those words in that order in a sentence? And he's in a main event level program. Now, unfortunately, because of how they booked Eddie Kingston, he's this program Shawn Spears. Eddie Kingston's going to be eating a bunch of losses going forward. But at least he has more important things to do nowadays. So, take it as a win. He is most definitely the MVP.
My MVP is MJF, Foreman Pinnacle.
Jabroni, I'll just do what she would do in this instance. Maki Ito, for not laying her shit in.
Actually, I'm going to go with the production team, fucking up and having the NBA game on during Ethan Page's match. That's fucking terrible.
I'm on a similar boat with Romeo, except my LVP is Hikaru Shida, because she sold not really being choked by Vicky Guerrero, and she sold that clothesline duck and those microphone strikes from Maki Ito like they actually hurt. She didn't brush them off like, what are you doing? No, she sold them like she was actually assaulted with a microphone, and this is why you are the only champion in all of wrestling who doesn't get TV time consistently. You stink, ma'am. Go away.
Sheesh. I told you. Io Shirai would never. I told you. Speaking of Io Shirai, let's talk about NXT. Sorry, guys. We have to talk about NXT. It's the Wednesday Night War. I know you guys don't want to talk about it, but William Regal with 2 announcements. NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver April 7th on USA, April 8th on Peacock. Peacock! William Regal has the women's roster lined up on the ramp. He calls out Dakota and Raquel, says he's tired of waiting for decisions from higher up. So NXT has created the NXT women's tag team titles, their own. They go to the winners of the Dusty Cup, Raquel and Dakota. Raquel says they're going to hold these titles for a very long time. That should age well. Shotzi and Ember Moon challenge right away. The match is made for tonight, which we will talk about later on. Let's talk about the creation of the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. To me, I saw a lot of crying, a lot of complaining online. This story makes plenty of sense to me. Dakota and Raquel getting screwed out of the regular tag team titles gave good reason for NXT to create their own. No women's division on any wrestling company on the planet gets more highlighted than NXT's. They have more than enough women to make a satisfiable women's tag team division. And they even have women on the ramp who we haven't even seen yet. We haven't even heard yet. There's more coming on the way. There's a whole pipeline, a whole system. And the main roster, let's be honest, they don't respect NXT. I don't care what they did at Survivor Series a couple years ago, when they tried to make NXT look like they were special. It was just a joke. It was just a joke. It was just for the time being. In a perfect world, yes. Yes, I wish the tag team titles could just float around. It makes plenty of sense. Yeah, let NXT hold it for a couple of months. But this isn't a perfect world. This is Vince McMahon's world. And NXT will always be the red-headed stepchild. I am fine with the creation of the NXT Women's Tag Team titles.
Romeo is one of the 4 people that probably bought pictures of Shotzi Blackheart's poop online. He is
Poop?
a fan of You probably bought her poop pictures.
She has poop pictures?
Yes, that's what she's famous for.
This is news to me.
This is what she's famous for, more so than being an NXT superstar.
What? I never knew this.
Okay.
You learn something new every day.
Deflection. He didn't say he didn't have the pictures. So.
Because I never knew they existed.
Check his search engine later.
Have you seen them?
Yes. Anyway.
Are they worth purchasing?
No, they're Shotzi Blackhearts.
Oh.
Anyway, this is why Romeo is a fan of the creation of the NXT Tag Team titles. This is stupid. This is one of the dumbest things. In fact, this feels like the most Vince McMahon decision NXT has ever seen. Because this makes no sense. They had a whole women's tag team tournament with a total of 3 tag teams in the whole tournament. I don't want to see the random pairing of Gigi Dolan and Zoe Stark as a tag team. They have no reason to be a team. And how far we've fallen, and now we're creating titles for divisions that don't exist because we overhype somebody who's not worth that hype, and we stick her with somebody else green-headed, not the only green-headed person in the company, by the way, who sucks even worse. What are we doing? This is the most Vincian thing I've ever seen in NXT, and it makes... this is the reason why I came to the Wednesday Night Warriors, was because of this. This is the stuff that made me show up on this podcast here today, because I need to spew my venom for how atrocious this was to that division and to wrestling. And I might be done with NXT.
You mean it's not because I asked you nicely?
You've asked me nice before.
What? Alright. Let's start with the positives.
What positive?
This is like the official like death or nail in the coffin of saying like NXT is not mainstream anymore. You are just gonna be a developmental brand. Like there is nothing main roster about you, and you're gonna be fucking shunned from the main roster. Like if any of you guys are gonna come to the main roster, it's because we stole you, and we're gonna come waste your talent after giving you a few weeks of a push. You know what I mean? That's the positive, and that sounded terrible. Now let's go to the negatives. Why the fuck would you build up a tournament to have the winners challenge for the tag titles, to lose them, to just create more tag titles? They created the tag titles. Fine. You could have built up the tournament, and whoever wins the fucking first Dusty Cup women's tournament or the first women's tag team championships for champions for NXT. You could have just had that. Why? Because you wanted a fucking... What? Don't tell me you wanted a dream match with Nia and Shayna versus fucking... whoever...
Dakota.
No way. Yeah, Dakota and Raquel.
My reasoning for that was to make an excuse to create the tag team titles because they got screwed out of the main roster titles.
But they had a whole tournament as an excuse to fucking create tag titles. They could have just used the tournament.
No, but see, there would have been so much complaining, like, oh, why is NXT doing this on their own?
Oh, now you got even more complaining about why do we have fucking
There's going to be complaining no matter what.
It's true, but I think this is worse. This has a worse impact.
Io Shirai versus Toni Storm, NXT Women's Championship. The ending saw a missed moonsault from Io off the top rope. Storm 0, Io kicks out of it. Toni misses a headbutt off the top rope and gets caught in the crossface, taps out in 11:58. I thought this was a fun match, despite the picture-in-picture.
Yeah, like I don't dislike Toni Storm. I kind of enjoy what I see, but I don't know enough about her. Like I don't feel like she's built whatsoever. Like I don't feel like there's any explanation or story to her whatsoever. I'm probably missing something. I don't watch NXT UK. I'm not going to. But it's just she just seems like...
Let me ask you this, Marcus. Can I ask you this question real quick?
Sure.
I might have to edit this out depending. But
Okay.
Is it because when you watch a Toni Storm match, she's so goddamn thick that you can't concentrate on the match itself because she's so thick? Does that have anything to do with it?
A, you don't have to edit that out. And B, while she does look fantastic and she does move well and she has some cool moves and stuff, she to me, she doesn't come off like I should care, right? Like Rhea Ripley has a presence. Charlotte Flair, even though I'm going to regret saying this, has a presence. Sasha Banks has a presence. Toni Storm feels like somebody who, if she pisses off the wrong person, will be gone tomorrow. And then to make it worse, she's going against Io Shirai, who, gotta be honest, I kind of want Io Shirai to break Asuka's record at this point. I don't think Io Shirai should be losing the title ever. And more so because that means she won't be going to Raw or SmackDown because she'll still be in NXT as a women's champion, hopefully.
I wouldn't mind Io breaking the streak. I thought the match was cool, though. I enjoyed the match. Tony, I mean, I could focus on the match, but yeah, it's a little hard, but I could focus on the match. I don't know, man. She's so young, bro. She doesn't need the. You just got to give her time to be built, to feel important. These women are too young to be like champion right away and shit. Just I'm with NXT giving the youngins some time to develop.
Pete Dunn versus Jake Atlas. This was torture. Who did Jake Atlas piss off backstage? Dunn wins in 4:23. Dunn calls out anyone to give him a challenge. I think this could be leading to two things. Maybe it's a takeover match against someone from the main roster. It could also be someone who's just from the NXT roster too, maybe Kushida. We'll see what happens. But Jake Atlas, he got his ass pretty much kicked here.
I'm probably wrong, but for me, I think this is a good opportunity to bring a second person over from NXT UK. It's Pete Dunne versus Ilya Dragunov at TakeOver Stand and Deliver.
That'd be
I
nice.
know it's probably going to be a more imposing figure from UK if it is from UK, but that's the match I want to see.
Imperium minus him. Promo backstage. They want to return Timothy Thatcher to his rightful spot in Imperium. They'll even accept Ciampa too if they have to. Great reasonable offer if you ask me. Later on in the show, Ciampa interrupts an interview with Thatcher, declining joining Imperium. And Chris, Ciampa is an absolute fool turning down this offer, isn't he? Why would you not accept that offer if you're Ciampa?
Because you don't want to rock with Imperium, man. He want to be his
Why
own man.
would you not want to?
I mean, what the fuck has Imperium done lately? You tell me. What have they done for us lately? And then there's not even Walter. Walter's not even there. Yeah, thanks. That's like trying to. Yeah. That's like trying to sell me a convertible, and then you get in to test drive, you put the key in, and the shit goes, and then fucking the muffler, and you go 2 blocks before the shit breaks down. You need the whole package. You need the engine. You need Walter. You need to sell me that. You ain't selling me that. So if I'm Ciampa, I'm like, nah, dog. I'm chilling with fucking Toothless Timmy, and we gonna handle business.
Tag team NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. Dakota and Raquel versus Ember and Shotzi. I thought this was pretty good. Shotzi catches Dakota in a pin in 12:16 for the win. And new! That's right. Dakota and Raquel, the shortest ever reigning women's tag team champs in NXT history. I thought this was very unpredictable. I did not see this coming. Nice upset. Makes for a good story that you can come back to. It is embarrassing to lose the tag titles that quickly after you just got them. They have big plans for Raquel. They still wanted her to be the Dusty Cup winner. She's the first ever women's tag team champ. Raquel and Dakota, they're interviewed later on, and Raquel says they were still the first tag champs. I agree, you were. And she gets challenged by Io Shirai. So Raquel could possibly win the Dusty Cup, the tag team championship, and the women's championship, and claim to be the first to ever do the NXT women's triple crown. They had big plans for Raquel, and I like it.
No. I think no. If you would have had the titles at the end of the Dusty Cup, Dakota and Raquel would have been champions for, 2 weeks or whatever at this point? And then you can take the titles off of them. And while you can complain that your first ever tag team champions only had a 2-week reign, as awful as that is, it's a lot more digestible than they've been champions for an hour.
So not only did you have a fucking tournament to crown basically number 1 contenders for a match that doesn't even matter because you're going to create new tag team titles for that place anyway, then have your first champions lose it in a half hour, and then not even seemingly care and just move on to the next thing. What is the point? This shit is moving to Tuesdays, and I have to fucking watch this? Honestly, bro, do I have to? Ooh, this shit, like this type of NXT and WWE programming gets me upset because it just makes. I mean, there's a lot of shit that doesn't make sense in wrestling. I get it. This doesn't make any fucking sense. But other than that, the match was cool. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I think there's a lot of overreacting going on right now, and I want to hear from you in the comments how much you agree with me, Romeo, and how much Marcus and Chris are just overreacting. I want to hear from you in the comments. Let us know what you think.
I don't know. Comment down below why Romeo's too accepting. Also,
No. Adam Cole versus Finn Balor, NXT Championship. Cole, of course, keeps the Undisputed Era theme like the jerk he is. And he's even wearing the same gear he wore when he first won the NXT Championship. Finn kicks out of a last shot and a Panama Sunrise. Kyle O'Reilly creeps up on Cole in his cool denim vest jacket. 1916 on the floor outside. Coup de grace in the ring for the win in 20 minutes, 6 seconds. Dirty finish. Slightly dirty. I'll label it dirty just for Kyle O'Reilly distracting Cole, even though that's on Adam Cole. Finn gives Kyle O'Reilly the floor to do as much damage to Cole as he wants. Adam Cole says, "I'm so sorry. You don't have to do this." Kyle O'Reilly blocks a low blow from Cole and then rips off the Undisputed Era armband from Adam Cole. Then he fucks up Adam Cole. He tries to brainbuster him on the steel steps as Cole did to him, but the refs break it up. Where the fuck were the refs when Cole did that to Kyle? Excuse me? Balor, the camera's on him. He senses someone over his shoulder. He asks, "What took you so long?" And it's Karrion Kross with his arms folded behind him. I thought it was an awesome ending, setting up what could possibly be the two main events of TakeOver, both nights of TakeOver.
I really enjoyed the match. These two guys were going to put on a good show, so can't go wrong with the decision. I was more interested in if Kyle O'Reilly was going to come and show up, which he did. So that little interaction with him pulling off the armband and shit. Adam Cole saying earlier that the Undisputed Era ends when he says it ends. So I mean, all that was pretty cool. I really like that. But I am here for Karrion Kross at the end. That is the same look my father gave me when he called me smoking pot. So I can relate. And he was bald with the little goatee as well. He's just 8 shades darker, but that's a different story.
I mean, how could you not like this match, right? It's Adam Cole, Finn Balor. What I don't like, though, even though it made sense that Kyle O'Reilly showed up, I don't like Kyle O'Reilly's new look. He looks very much like a teenage slob. You know what I mean? Like, he's like wearing like sweatpants and like a t-shirt. He looked like he's been depressed for weeks over this breakup with Adam Cole, and he's just been binge eating Enemans the whole time. Like, he looked awful. I do like him pulling off the armband though, because I liked Adam Cole using the music still. I hope Adam Cole still uses the music.
No, he has to.
Yeah, and they just changed the graphics to say Adam Cole alone instead of Undisputed. And then it is super badass here about Finn Balor just knowing Karrion Kross's presence behind him. And then Karrion Kross not laying him out. He's just standing there, just, I could destroy you right now, but I'm just going to intimidate you and look at you. Like, I was like, this is a great way to go off the television.
Match of the night, Cole Balor. Agreed. MVP, I'm going to go Finn Balor. He's on a roll.
I think Adam Cole. I think Adam Cole is just on such a roll right now. Like, Adam Cole's always been awesome, but I'm reinvested in Adam Cole all over again. It's great.
Chris, I think Finn Balor is on such a roll, you can maybe even justify him beating Karrion Kross at TakeOver, at least for the first go-around.
I mean, you can see that coming, but I mean, nah. I'd rather see Kross win it. But I wouldn't be mad if
this has nothing to do with him being Puerto Rican, does it? And from New York?
Not at all.
You sure? You sure? Okay.
No bias. No bias at all.
And looking like that? Looking like that?
Do I have to give an MVP to anybody in the show?
Are you kidding me?
I'm
You're
gonna
telling me
give it.
nobody was valuable on this entire show?
Yeah. I mean, of course, you got the
Wow.
regular Adam Cole or Finn Balor. I'm actually gonna give it low key. I'm gonna give it to Jordan Devlin coming back to NXT to face off against Santos Escobar. That's gonna be dope.
Ratings war. AEW beats NXT. They are now 62 to 11 to 2 in the ratings war. They had 743,000 viewers, down 191,000 viewers. All those guys who tuned in to see Shaq said no thank you. All those guys who saw the exploding barbed wire deathmatch ending said no thank you. I don't want to watch anymore. NXT down 1K. Oh, by the way, South Park. 1.74 million viewers owned the night. And this week, AEW versus NXT. I'll go first. I thought AEW was okay. I thought the War Council was probably the best segment of either show. But you had audio issues. You had the Maki Ito mess. Lay your shit in. I don't know what to make of the Scorpio Sky heel turn yet. The match was a bit overrated, if you ask me. NXT, the stakes were much higher. 3 very good title matches and a beautiful ending. My only regret is that there was no Cameron Grimes segment. What are we doing here? What are we doing, NXT? Why are we giving Cameron Grimes a night off? I wanted Marcus Cash to talk about how great Cameron Grimes is, and now he doesn't get a chance. But NXT is back. They are back on the board for me after I picked AEW, I think 6 of 7 weeks. NXT wins one for me.
To me, NXT has won less than 5 of these head-to-head matchups. Like, I watch them every week, and I don't think NXT's won 5 of them, in my opinion. I think everything that happened, including Maki Ito, including the NBA's chance of defense, has taken AEW to the moon.
There we go. Cameron Grimes reference.
in this ratings war. They're just a better show. Even at their worst, they're usually a better show than NXT. I'm sorry. And mostly because my LVP, even though we didn't do that, I'm going to do it anyway. My LVP, William Regal.
Oh, shit. You're right. I forgot.
My LVP is William Regal. And he just a nonsensical Vince booking of this show has taken me all the way out of it, where you have great matches, but I can't care about your show because now I can't care about your brand because shit's just all over the place. We're just doing shit to do shit. So no, NXT loses, AEW wins again.
I'm sorry about skipping Jabroni of the night. My Jabroni was Jake Atlas. Ass. Chris, who was your Jabroni and your show of the night?
Jabroni tonight.
Probably everyone, since you couldn't find an MVP,
yeah,
right?
Whoever booked that shit, man. Whoever creating tag team titles when they should have created them fucking weeks ago and booked the tournament around it. Well, yeah, sorry, Paul. You're the fucking jabroni of the night this week. I'd rather see Maki Ito fuck up 100 mic shots than watch Xia Li come out and throw fucking Street Fighter punches for 34 seconds and gas herself out, right? I'd rather see Ethan Page wrestle and hear the fucking NBA commentary while he wrestles than listen to a Leon Ruff promo about Swerve Strickland.
Right.
Or a Swerve Scott. I'm sorry.
I forgot how bad that was.
I mean, ain't no fucking way. Even on his worst day, Dynamite is better than NXT. So yes, I'm going with AEW Dynamite as usual.
I think these guys are once again out of control. NXT destroyed AEW in ring tonight, but we're not going to mention that. The true heels in the group, you guys voted 5-1. Marcus, we appreciate you coming on our 40th episode of the Wednesday Night Warriors. We thank you so much. Where can everyone find you?
My battery is dying. Twitter, Instagram, the YouTubes. I didn't realize this was a Sunday night, so there were no rants this week, like they haven't been, but I don't have an excuse.
You kidding me? You just ranted all over this goddamn program.
There we go. But I'm going to have some stuff coming that I've been working on, some stuff with Jimmy Macram, that he's on the All Elite Recap with me. I'm trying to get Romeo to do a thing with me. I'm trying to get Sid to find time to do a thing with me. But I got stuff coming. At least it's on the drawing board. It's on the drawing. Give it a follow and be there when it drops.
You can find me at True Heel Chris G. You could also see me here, the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, one half of the Wednesday Night Warriors. For the time being, you could also catch me on Blunt Impact and Joints and Jabroni with three-time baby making champion Ness. And you could also hear mine and Ness's illustrious voice on True Toxicity.
That's just so depressing when you say for the time being. So depressing.
It is.
You can find me, The Pride of NY, Twitter and Instagram, right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, True Rewind, where we go over the Monday Night War, Raw versus Nitro every week. And the Romeo Report, whenever there's something in wrestling that needs investigating, deep dive, I'm there. We thank you for watching the Wednesday Night Warriors, episode number 40. We'll be back here next week, episode number 41. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Marcus Cash. Thank you, Chris G. And thank you to myself for producing such a wonderful episode. We'll see you next week on the Wednesday Night Warriors.